Hello, today we're taking lesson 12.2 and 12.3 and doing word problems that go along with it. So we're either going to have word problems that are going to be an arithmetic series or a geometric series. Now in the notes I have them divided up, and we'll get more practice where they'll be mixed up because on the test they'll be mixed up and you'll have to decide whether or not it's arithmetic or geometric. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This first one, this is an arithmetic series. The prizes in a weekly radio contest began at $1,000 and increased by $100 each week that the contest lasted. Write a rule to represent how much total money will be paid out in prizes for the nth week. So all I want in this problem is a rule. Now, I can go ahead and write the sequence if I want. I know I'm starting with $1,000 in week 1. Week 2 would be $100 more than that. Week 3 would be $100 more than that. Week 4, and so on. So let's see what we have here. When we're doing an arithmetic series, we need a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, so what do you have here? You have your a sub 1 and you have your d, because we know it's increasing by $100. So if you want to do an example from this, 1,100 minus 1,000, which you don't even need to do because it basically gave you the d right here. Either way, you get 100 for d. Go ahead and plug those two in. We're going to distribute. Add up our like terms. This is our rule. Now be very careful of the questions and what you're being asked. So in this problem I was only asked the rule. Now what if I added another question, which sometimes I do? What if it said, how much total money has been given away, or not how much total, how much money will be given away in the 10th week of the contest? So I would take 10 and I would plug it in for n. Another question that could be asked is, what is the total amount of money given away if the contest lasts 6 weeks? If it were something like that, you would then need a summation, because you would have to say, okay, my contest lasted from 1 to 6 weeks, and you would go ahead and put the rule in, and you put that into your calculator. So be very careful. Every question is going to be a little bit different. Like I said, we're going to practice a lot of this in class. Okay, next problem. You are trying to find the maximum weight that you can lift in a weightlifting exercise. You start with a single lift of 125 pounds. Then you increase the weight by 2 pounds and try again. You repeat this until you reach a weight you are unable to lift. Write a rule for the total weight of your nth lifting attempt. So again, we're just writing a rule. Go ahead and write down the arithmetic sequence. We have our first term, and we have our d. This is a sub 1, excuse me. And we have our d. So go ahead, plug it in. Distribute. And this is our rule. Not so bad, right? Okay, now I'm going to help you a little bit with the you-try before you try it on your own. So it says the first row of a concert hall has 25 seats, and each row after the first one has one more seat than the row before it. This is telling us our D, and this is telling us our A sub 1. Write a rule for the number of seats in the nth row. So you're going to do what I did above for numbers 1 and 2. Then it says, what is the total number of seats if the concert hall has 32 rows? Once you write your rule, so step 1, you're going to go ahead and write your rule like I did in numbers 1 and 2. Step 2 is you're going to do the summation, because it wants the total number of seats in the entire concert hall. So we have 1 to 32, and you're going to put your rule here and actually calculate it. I want you to try this on your own. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and try some geometric series word problems. I'm going to write the rule for my geometric series. Bethany receives an email for a 40% off coupon to her favorite store. She forwards the coupon to 2 of her friends. Then each of her friends forwards it to 2 of their friends. If the pattern continues, write a rule to represent how many people would receive the email on the nth round of emailing. So we know that it's going to start with coming to 2 people, right? Bethany and someone else received it if everybody's forwarding it to 2 other people. Then those 2 people are going to forward it to 2 more, which would be 4. Those 4 people are going to forward it to 2 more, which would be 8. So what's happening is you're given the A sub 1. Okay, 2 people are going to receive that coupon. The ratio is going to be 2. And we leave the n minus 1 alone. This is it. Okay, that one's not so bad. And again, if there's more questions, how many people will receive it on the 10th round of emailing, then we're going to plug 10 in for n. If it asks for a total or a sum, that's when we bring the summation into a problem. Okay, let's go ahead and try the next one. A company plans to increase the production of a product by 10% each year over the next 12 years. The company will produce 70,000 units next year in year 1. Write a rule given the number of units produced by the company in year n. Now, what you could do, which I don't, okay, but just to explain it, you started off with 70,000 units. If it's going to increase by 10%, I actually calculated what 10% of 70,000 is, and that's 7,000. You add it to the 70,000. So you end up with 77,000. Okay, and then it will continue. Then you want 10% of 77,000, and then you add that to 77,000. You would get 84,700, and that would keep on going. Or what you can realize is when we're doing the common ratio, anytime we're doing a percent increase, the ratio is going to be 1 plus the percent increase. Of course, when we do percents in a mathematical problem, we put it in decimal. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. So if the increase is 10%, I'm going to take 1 and I'm going to add it to what would 10% be in decimal form, 0.10. So my R is going to be 1.1. Now if you calculate this, if you do 77,000 divided by 70,000, you are going to get 1.1. So either way, okay, this will always work when we're doing percentages. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it into my rule. Here's my rule again. We don't know A sub n. We know A sub 1. We know R. And we're going to go ahead and write it like this. So it says write a rule giving the units. That's all I need. Just write a rule. Okay? I'm going to help you along with the U-Try again because the U-Try also has a question with it. Let's take a look. A regional soccer tournament has 64 participating teams. In the first round of the tournament, 32 games are played. In each successive round, the number of games played decreases by 1/2. 1/2 is going to go ahead and be your R. Find a rule for the number of games played in the nth round. First round, 32 games are being played. So without writing down my sequence, I'm going to go ahead and write this down and we'll take a look at it. So my first round of games, there are 32 games being played. My ratio is going to be 1/2 because it's going to decrease by 1/2 every single time. Then it says how many games are played in the 4th round. I guess I kind of did this problem for you. Go ahead and take your 4th and plug it into your n to find out. I'll leave that part up to you. Now, any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead, write it at the bottom of the paper, and I'll see you tomorrow in class.